mortgages and land loans. Plus, your approved loan gives you a chance to win up to US $5,000. Apply now at www.cibccaribbean.com/sweeten the season. Terms and conditions apply.
Value Mart IGA specials.
Running November 13 to November 26.
Now our Value Club Blue Tag specials. Essential everyday disposable containers, just $15.99. Orville Red and Barker microwave popcorn, $10.99. Blue Bunny ice cream is just $22.99. Downy fabric softener, $24.99. Gain liquid laundry detergent, $26.99. Renew's It air freshener is just $7.49. And now our very low weekly
value deals. Essential everyday barbecue sauce, $7.99. IGN Essential Everyday Cereals, $9.99. Essential Everyday Spray Cooking Oils, $9.99. IGO Essential Everyday Chunk Light Tuna, Water and Oil, $3.49. White Rain Shampoo and Conditioner, $5.49. The Colgate Toothpaste, $7.99. Shop Smart, Shop Value Mart. Tell them in Spanish.
Sea listo y haga sus compras aquí en
Value Mart.
Just about 5 minutes after the hour of 8, a pleasant good morning to our listening audience, both in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis and the regional and international diaspora. Just to remind you that we are being simulcast on TVC Channel 40. We're on Facebook as well as YouTube. We're on your FM dial at 98.9. It is, as I mentioned, I don't know if I did, but let me mention it again. It is the 24th day of October, November, sorry, why am I backpedaling? November 2025. Just to remind you of our numbers if you wish to join in on the conversation or bring something pressing to the fore. Our local number is 466-0989. In the U.S., we have two numbers, 1-305-921-4619 or 285-6984. In the UK, 0333-440065. To all our regular listeners home and abroad, a pleasant good morning. Mario over there in Nevis, good morning. Good morning. Tessa, Carlisle, all our other listeners, good morning. Quint, good morning. How are you doing today?
Fine, thank you. And you look radiant.
Trying my best.
Not just trying, you're doing the job.
Thank you, kind sir.
I must say compliments to the huzzy too, because I think he has something to do with your sparkle.
Oh, so why just can't be me alone?
It can be you alone, but I don't think it's you alone. We have a caller.
Okay, caller, good morning. You're live on Island T.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
Right.
Grand rising to you.
Now, I want to ask a question. I want to know. Hello?
Hello, we're listening.
We're listening to you.
Okay. I'm wondering if it is right for the government to set traps to criminalize. They can't hear me.
We're hearing you. Oh, well, we lost that caller, so that caller will have to
We told him we were
call
hearing him
back.
loud
Yeah,
and
we
clear.
can hear him loud and clear. Loud and clear. We guarantee you that much. I just saw a message on WhatsApp, and it says reggae legend Jimmy Cliff has died. He was 81. He had pneumonia. Eventually, he had a seizure, and I guess that is what ended up being his
Cause
last
of that, yeah.
fight. Yeah, the caller's back.
I hope so. Hello, caller.
Good morning, caller. You're live on Island T.
Yes, I'm back.
Yeah, we're hearing you loud and clear. We were hearing you loud and clear before also.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. My question is,
Go ahead. We're hearing you.
is it legal for the government to set traps to criminalize citizens, residents, and visitors alike? In this way, in placing cameras in various places around the island without warning or advising people that these things, okay, you're in an area, so and so. I mean, the point I am making is this. A man could be traveling, you're doing maybe 25 miles in a 20-mile zone. I mean, and then a camera takes a picture unknown to you. Then you get a ticket for $300 and something in the mail. I'm saying the point, isn't this entrapment? Isn't the government criminalizing the people?
No, I would say no, because the officers have been on the show countless time, Traffic Talk, which we will have at 8:30 this morning, and they have spoken about the cameras. They say the cameras are going to be moved. The only thing that I honestly think that should happen is that we should have signs, and we spoke about the signs. I don't know when the signs are going to come into fruition, but signs around the island that says that there's a speed camera in effect. You don't have to put it where the camera is, but at least you will warn, because in the US it's never close to the camera. It just lets you know that you're being watched. So,
well, you know you're being watched, but here you do not know you're being watched.
and that's
I
what I'm
mean,
saying, the absence of the
you're saying that
signs.
signs, the police on the radio is enough information to the white community. I mean, we're talking tourists, everybody. People who do not even listen to radio.
And I get that,
I
but
mean,
it's
commuters
odd.
look for signs.
The rental companies, no, I know, and they don't have the signs, and that's something when they come, we can speak about again because the signs need to be there. I understand where you speak about the tourists and stuff getting in trouble, but the agencies that rent the vehicles are to notify the tourists. Yes, they're not going to know where, but just let them know. In built-up areas, it's 20 miles, and on the highways, it's 40. And we,
From
and,
my
and we
Built
can,
up areas.
from my
I mean,
perspective,
you're traveling on the main road.
yeah, you see how people are normally creeping from the country
from my
area.
perspective, I'm not going to venture there because I don't know the legal ramifications. I'm not the police. I'm not a lawyer, so
But the
I
pol-
stay out of things. I hear what Cortensia is saying, and I agree to some extent. But for me, I'm not going to put my foot in there because the legality of things are very touchy. So I don't know. Huh? I just don't. Hello, caller.
Good morning to everybody,
Good
Yeah.
morning.
and once again, greetings in Jesus Christ's name, the only Savior of sinners from their sins and from hell, and according to the Word of God only, through faith only, and Jesus the second person of the eternal Trinity. I would like to say again, we need to become a republic and get out the British Commonwealth, and the quicker, the better. Now, last week on the program, with Quint. I don't recall which one, but one of the cultural acts that used to be in the past during around Christmas time, it was mentioned Giant Despair was one of them. And I would like to say Giant Despair, because I was also asking about the origin of where these things come from. And some of them come from Africa, not all. Some of them come from Africa. Others, I think, from Europe. Giant Despair, that came from the book, The Pilgrim Progress, written by John Bunyan, that great Christian. He was a very good Christian man. And in his book, The Pilgrim Progress, he talked about Giant Despair, and that is where we got Giant Despair from. In as one of our cultural acts in the past.
So what does the book say about Giant Despair?
Basically, it says Giant Despair, he had a dungeon, and when Christian pilgrims, it was let me put it this way: the book was it was written in symbolic forms. The characters were symbolic. Okay. The characters were symbolic of the Christian life. The book was the characters, son was symbolic of the Christian life. And with Giant Despair, he had a dungeon, and so where Christians would pass on the road to go to heaven, he had that dungeon somewhere at the side of the road, along the side of the road, and he would try to entice Christians to come off the road and go into his dungeon. But they did not know it was a dungeon, nor did they know it was Giant Despair. And so when Christians were misled into that dungeon, they end up in all kind of despair, they end up in all kind of regrets and all that sort of stuff from venturing from off the Christian road to heaven. And Giant Despair would kill some of them, and some would escape from it and go back on the Christian road to heaven, while others would remain there in the despair and that sort of stuff, and killed by Giant Despair.
Okay,
That was basically it, and it was symbolic of the Christian life.
It sounds interesting. I grew up hearing about Giant Despair, but I didn't know the backstory behind it. So it sounds interesting.
So this
You
was
very-
you said
very
this is a
interesting.
character that was in the Christmas celebrations that happened here in St. Kitts and Nevis.
Yes, once ago.
Okay, because I'm
Yeah,
looking at a picture here with the head of Giant Despair, and once someone brings something up, I instantly go on Google, so I do see the backstory that you're talking about. So yeah.
Yes. I think it was Christian, a character in the book named Christian. I think it was him who ended up killing Giant Despair.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
so you taught me something today because I didn't know about. I mean, I knew the people who would be acting the giant despair, but I didn't know the backstory. And it would be interesting to speak to one of those individuals and see if that story links with what they portray come around Christmas time. But it's rather
Yes.
interesting. Yeah.
Yes, I think so. And the book, I would recommend the book to everybody for them to read. It's a very good book. The Pilgrim Progress by John Bunyan, that
Okay.
great Christian man. Now, another issue I would like to say again, where the spirit of Christmas is concerned, that is coming up. You know, I have criticized it for its degeneration into just almost 100% entertainment. And I say almost. Because you have a little smattering of Jesus and some mention as well during the event. No, and like I said, when the church used to keep it, it had a lot more substance to it comparatively now that government is doing it. And I would like to say to those who used to have it at the first, try see if you all can have it again. It doesn't have to be the same name because government have the activity in that name. Could be a different name. And try to see if you all can have it in the square. In the square. It might be before, or it might be after the government version. But try to see if you all can have it again because when the churches had it, comparatively speaking, it was of greater substance
Had
to the
had
glory
had
of God.
had what specifically?
In the spirit of Christmas.
Oh, okay.
Yes. No, like I said, since the government thing is called that, they could change up the name. They don't have to go back to the same name. They could give it a different name. But what I also said that is because, for example, suppose later on now, Muslims, Mormons, Buddhists, and other people, as they become more prominent, if they become more prominent in the Federation, suppose they want to take part in it as well. What's going to happen? You know. So, churches, I think you all should go back to it and make it more preachy and that sort of stuff as it was in the beginning when you all used to have it. And lastly, I would like to say, we talked about Jim Jones last week, and in some extra reading I did over the weekend, Jim Jones used to refer to his Jonestown commune in Guyana as a socialist commune and never as a religious commune, even though he was a preacher, quote-unquote so-called preacher, when he started it. When he identified his commune, he always used to identify it as a socialist commune and never as a religious commune. Because we know also Jim Jones used to identify himself very strongly as a communist, socialist, Marxist person, which he most strongly defend and believe. And journalists and so used to describe him as such as well, because that is how he used to identify himself, mainly as socialist, communist, Marxist person, and his commune, Lil Johnson commune, as such. Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
All right, thank you, Greg.
You have anything to say, Constance?
No. No, I have nothing to say. As I say, he could refer to whatever. Now, Quint, you asked me, I'm going to say something. He could refer to his commune as whatever, but
Yeah.
we know what he wanted. But before he died, he told the gentleman to take the monies to the Soviet embassy in Ghana. So you could definitely see that he was a communist or whatever he was. But he wasn't going to give it to the American embassy. But it never made it there, so yeah.
We have a caller.
Okay, caller, go ahead. You're live on Island T. Good morning.
Good morning, Quint. How are you doing? Good morning,
Good day.
Cynthia.
Good morning. How are you?
Actually, what Greg was speaking about is the Pilgrim Progress,
Yeah.
which does not speak to the physical at all. It just speaks to the physical, living in the spiritual.
That is what he said. He said it was sort of a
And
representation.
actually,
Yeah.
the Pilgrim Progress is a very good book. It just speaks to the Christian and his life journey towards living a Christian life where he will fall off by the wayside and get back and
On track.
it shows that we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but by spiritual, in the spiritual realms.
Yeah.
But they bring out the spiritual by saying that you fight the giant and put on the whole armor of God, and that you defend against the violence of the devil.
Yeah.
And so that is the whole meaning of the whole system of the Pilgrim Progress. But it's a very interesting book for real.
But let me ask you this now: Is it really linked with the giant despair that we see portrayed here? Is there some correlation?
It have some things to do with it, like fighting the giant.
Oh,
but fighting the giant is not really a physical giant in a sense.
Yes.
It's a spiritual giant.
Yes. Okay.
And when they tell you put on I think some way one of them will say that my head is made of iron, my body is made of steel, and he's telling you put on the whole armor of God that you may defend yourself against the violence of the devil.
But how?
And so on, and the protectives and so on. But he just bring out. It's a spiritual interpretation, not really a physical, because you don't really have that. You did not have that physical in terms of the physical fight with the giant.
Greg did say that. He did say it was more like a representation of the Christian life.
But how does it correlate to the Christmas celebrations? I don't understand.
Well, before we had lots of time on our hand, and we had what you call folklore, and people had time to learn these verses.
Yeah.
And they could have said them one after the other because they practiced them. Most people, if you will notice that most folklore, they had Plat the Ribbon, Red Cross, and so on. And this was the time that our black people get a chance to portray what we have learned and study. And it was a gift. It was a good thing to know your voice, to remember, to say it in public and let people hear you say them. And you dress in the way of the mode of where we used to have folklore and not carnival. And so Christmas time was the time that we had our freedom from the field.
Yeah.
And that's the time when we get a chance to and be and free ourselves within those areas and bring out these votes and so on. So it was something exciting for us to have folklore.
Yeah.
That is one of the main reasons why I think that we should move away carnival from in the city and put it outside. So who want to go carnival, go, and who want to shop. So this is not the time when our people dance for the white people who used to be on the balcony and throw down the coins and so on in the city.
I
We
guess
need a space to express ourselves.
Yeah.
That's in that area.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
That was quite interesting. I think I know the individual who used to play Christian, because I know this individual who comes here. He recently was in WinFM and he was speaking to me. Remember when the doc was on, I was speaking about someone who physically got some blows or something like that. And now when I see him the next time, I'm going to ask him if he really is Christian, because it seemed as if though he was the one who would say, my body is made of iron and blah, 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 and then they would try to hit him, because he said those blows caused him to have some, abscess about his body now, because he's getting older and so forth. Hello, caller.
Wow.
Good morning, guys.
Good day.
morning.
How are you guys doing this morning?
Yourself?
I'm doing okay. No, as Greg was talking about Jim Jones, right? Have you guys saw the creepy story on Facebook, on social media, about the two young men from Texas?
No.
That was the two young men from Texas that was planning to invade a small island in Haiti, and their plan was to take people from up here, like the homeless people. Their plan was to invade this little island because only I think there's 100,000 people on there, and they were planning to go there, kill all the men and take the women and children as sex slaves.
What?
I saw something in fleeting about that, but I didn't pay it much credence because I thought it was some fantasy thing, I didn't know it was steeped in reality.
Yeah, what a plot, eh? That they're literally planning the mind of people, that they're planning to do that.
So who intercepted them? How did it get out?
I guess they did some investigation. What did they say here? The accused pedophile. members of Washington, D.C. They were planning to take homeless people from the Washington, D.C. I have to read it through and see whether the FBI or whoever figures caught on to what they were planning. But they really have to have a warped mind too. And it's young people too.
But you're saying they plan to kill off over 100,000 people.
Yeah, how they
That's
gonna
a
get
lot
that?
of people.
Plan to kill the men.
Yeah,
The men,
and
okay?
take the
Get
women
rid of
and
the men
children.
and use the women and children as sex slaves.
The island
As
has
their
over
slaves.
100 and some people.
Yeah, the island is a small island in Haiti.
So how would they have done it? They would have used the homeless people to help them to execute this
Oh,
plan, because
boy.
they surely couldn't have done it just the two of them.
Yeah, that was the plan.
No, they were planning to take homeless people from up here, take them all, go down there. You see, like we have the struggle right now with the SSD,
Yeah.
the Destiny.
Yeah.
So, as somebody penned it, Destiny and crack.
Oh boy.
You know, we
these
as
are
a-
Destiny people on crack want to go into Haiti, in a small island on Haiti, and take it over.
We as a Caribbean people, we've got to be very careful. That reminds me again of that thing that you saw posted by someone, remember Cortensia, saying they want to come back and take back over. You remember something you saw? You remember something
Yeah.
you said? You saw published? I recently saw a British parliamentarian. This is unbelievable. A British parliamentarian, a female, a Caucasian woman. And she is so, these people are so emboldened these days. She's on national, international radio and television, and she's saying she's tired of seeing these black people who are coming up and making good achievements in life and so forth and so forth. And you could hear the host asking her, trying to ask her, like, so why do you have a problem with that? And she's saying, I just don't like it. I just don't like to see them, these black people come here and they're developing and they're doing things. And I'm thinking to myself, wow, these people today are parliamentarian.
But Chris, that's the time we are living in. People are bold and brazen these days.
Wow.
That's the time we're living in. They're not afraid to let you know that disdain. They're not afraid anymore to let you know, plain out, I don't like you, and
Hold
I try to get
a
rid of
second.
you.
Hold a second. We have another caller. I don't know if you might want to hang up now either. Hello, caller.
Yeah, I'm gonna hang up.
Grand Rising, guys.
Yeah.
Grand Rising, Quint. Grand Rising,
I might have to cut you off because we're fast.
Quint, I was trying to get in since last week, Thursday.
Yeah, but remember at the bottom of the hour we have
Traffic
talk, so that is
Well,
why
let me try and say what I want to say
Yeah.
quickly, Quint,
Yeah.
with your permission. Now, Cortensia, take notes. Last week we were talking about Jim Jones. Now, let me point out certain characteristics of the biblical God. You may want to take note, Cortensia. Sadistic God. Job chapter 2, verse 3. God selected a kind man and killed his whole family just to prove a point and ruin his health. Now, I'm saying this on the backdrop of our last week conversation. Since last week, Thursday and Friday, I was trying to get in, but I didn't get it. When you go through the book of Hosea, chapter 13, verse 16, fratricidal God not only ordered the killing of children, but also pregnant women rip open. Then you go to a genocidal God in Judges, chapter 18, verse 27, Cortensia. And God said he would attack a peaceful and unsuspecting people with the sword and burn down their city just to steal their land. Despicable God in Isaiah chapter 13, verse 16. God said their infant will be dashed to pieces before their eyes and their wives ravish. In other words, for ravish, their wives will be raped. When you go to a racist God in Numbers chapter 25, verse 17 to 13, rewarded Phinehas for driving a spear
slew an Israelite man for marrying a Midianite woman who was from a foreign nation. Now, I'm saying all of this for us to look at the characteristic of the God in the biblical book that we accepted. Cannibalistic, sex abuser, Jeremiah chapter 13, verse 22 to 26. God said, because of your sins, I will rip your skirt. Your skirts will be torn off and your body is violated. And I will pull your skirt over your faces. God is talking to Jeremiah and telling what he would do to the women. I want
but Journey,
all of us to... Yes.
Journey, this is why I keep telling people who adhere to the Bible that they need to really go deep and stop picking out selective parts of the Bible. This proves that this God that we're supposed to be worshiping, it's not, these words are not coming from God. They're coming from men who wanted to do certain things and use the word God to justify the crazy, wicked things they wanted to do.
Yes,
it's obvious.
I recognize that. And this is, you see, these are the things. You have said it, and this is what I'm trying to articulate here to our people. Because, Quint, we swallowed the whole thing wholesale because we believe, not recognizing, this is why I say, if God is a spirit, who have seen a spirit committed any act that is in the book? Because the very writers who claim that they are wholly inspired, they translated however we want to, whatever word we want to choose. Wholly inspired translation. The very writers in themselves are the gods, because the book is hinting here and there, Quint. This is what I'm saying. Let us analyze what is written and by whom. Because the writers themselves are the God in the book. Now, let me just make these two last points as you have traffic talk. Psalms 137, infanticidal. Happy is the one who sees your infant and dash them against the rocks. What is this? Then you go to Ezekiel chapter 4, verse 12. And thou shalt eat your cake baked with the dropping of men that come out of you. I mean, do we look at these things? I mean, do we just go to hear the preacher preach what they select and don't go to the whole book? Anyway, Quint, like I said, I was trying to get in since last Thursday and Friday, and you now have traffic talk coming up. But let us look at these things. Cortesia, take notes, because you are the one who always say you're not willing to touch these things, because it is God. God who gave life, and God can take life.
No, I never said it is God why I don't touch them. I just said the argument never ends.
Well, Cortesia,
that's what I said.
Until you start seeking for truth, truth is a priority, because the God of the Bible is not the creator of the universe. I'll try and get back in later, guys.
All right. Okay. Thank you for your contribution.
We can't really start traffic talk as yet. One of the police have reached, but he said he's waiting for the sergeant. Okay. So we're going to have to continue until we,
You saw the news about the kidnapping in Nigeria of the Catholic school children? I'm seeing now at least 50 of them managed to escape. And they're back with their families. Yeah, at least 303 children were kidnapped. Well, 303 were kidnapped. That includes teachers as well. So I shouldn't say 303 children. 12 teachers are in there. So you do the calculation, we'll get the amount of children. And apparently 3 of those children are not from the school. They were there with their parents who are teachers. So 250.
I'm not aware of that. But yeah, unfortunately, that seems to be a recurring thing in over there in Africa, where they will tend to kidnap innocent children,
But for what? What the entire school did to you that you have to take the people's children and go with them?
Who can see into the heart of men and why we do the things we do? Hello, caller?
Yes, Quinton Contentia, it's me again. No.
Remember, we might have to cut you at any minute. It depends.
Yes, no problem. and just cut as appropriate.
Yeah.
And you could do it without announcement. Let me say this. The God who created everything, including us all, we are part of his creation. We breathe his air. That's how he sustains us. Doesn't God, who is creator of all, owner of all, have the right to do with us as he so feels like?
But that's
Especially
where I have
if we are disobedient to him?
That's where I have a problem. You see, because you sort of blur the lines. I could understand an omnipotent being having power to do certain things, but why would that omnipotent being stoop to the level of mankind and do some of the vicious things that, for instance, Journey just outlined, where he's going to lift your skirt, ravish you, and throw your skirt over your head? Why would God do that too?
Those people are disobedient to God
But no,
over and over again.
look, but if I'm a father, I have children. So you're telling me that because I'm a father and I have authority over them, I should be able to do despicable things to them? It is true I'm not on the level of God, but just
Exactly.
using it. But no, it doesn't make any sense where you try to justify that God is this all loving, and then let me tell you, let me say this. I'm a man. I'm a human being. I'm a humble person. I am a frail human being, subject to all of the things that human beings can and will do. But I will not find a woman, lift up her skirt, ravish her, throw her skirt over her head, and do her despicable things, and I am a human being. So if I have the kind of control where I would not do that, I would assume that a God would have even more control than me and not do that. So don't bring that kind of crap to say God do because you're do evil. No, it is men who do those things and put them in there and say God.
Okay, well, number one, every act of disobedience to God, no matter how small it is a capital punishment act against God.
This is why, Greg, this is why sometimes we fear you, some of you who say you're Christians, because when you push this, look at the things you might do to people. I mean, you've done it. You've done it to our foreparents. You've come in the name of Christianity and raped them and sodomized them and cut off their heads and hung them in the name of Christianity. And what you're saying now is that you will do it again, because as long as you don't follow the Christian life, you do this. See how you just term it as despicable act. It's like come on, man.
No, again, Quint. Really and truly, the mystery is why God doesn't kill us as soon as we disobey him. That's really the mystery. Not that God had these things done to people, because we deserve, as soon as we sin against him, for him to cut us off. Period. So he allowing us to live so long is a mercy and grace to us from God.
But Greg, what do you think about the one mention that Journey said when it came to, and I think he was speaking about Lot, where he killed off his entire family and just leave him there to suffer?
God, like I said, it was a mercy for God to let us live so long that we are living, because as soon as we sin and disobey him, God have the right to just wipe us out, because every act of disobedience to God is a cosmic treason that deserves the death penalty for us and destruction for us.
This is why I will not adhere to your kind of Christianity. Okay, let me use me as an example, because I like to use myself as an example as a young man. I was a juvenile delinquent. I did some horrible things. I was allowed to change. You understand? And I'm a father, grandfather. I long ago, before I came out of my teens into full manhood, I had changed. You're saying to me because as a young man I did some things that I should have died one time. The Creator had the ability to do that, but why didn't he do that? You know why? Because the Creator... Yes. So, and I'm saying that the Creator is not going to go to the length where he's going to do some wicked... The Creator is going to give you a chance to survive. No. I might listen. I might have come in contact with, let's say, some men or women or people who would have done some wicked things to me. And for anyone to say that happened to Quint because God did it to him, no, it happened to me because I did some wrong and I bumped into some people who were wicked and decided they were going to use their wicked acts upon me. Stop blaming God and the devil for every nonsense that human beings do. Anyway, we're going to have to take a break and we'll be right back because the police
Okay, cool.
Found the sound 99.9 winnfm.
If you need protection, you need one who you can trust. To secure your investment, you need one who'll do you just. TDC Insurance, you're the one that you can trust. TDC Insurance, you're always safe with us.
TDC Insurance is your go-to insurance company for all your insurance needs. We take pride in offering you the best solutions and ensuring our customers are fully satisfied. TDC Insurance, we take good care of you, guaranteeing you peace of mind.
You're always safe with us.
This Christmas, add postpaid for a festive win-win. We're gifting you a 50-inch smart TV or a $400 Amazon gift card. When you add a Flow postpaid mobile plan to your home internet, you can celebrate the most wonderful time of the year with a big screen or big shopping. Let us upsize your TV or clear your Amazon cart. Either way, you come out on top. Add postpaid to internet today for your festive win-win. Visit discoverflow.co for more info. Terms and conditions apply.
Here comes the Mega Ball. You could win more with the Mega Ball. Pick 3 and pick 4 and you could get all.
Yes, playing Pick 3 and Pick 4 with the Caribbean Lottery just got more rewarding. Now you can win more with the Mega Ball. For just an extra $1, increase your winnings by $1,000 with the Pick 3 and a big $10,000 with the Pick 4. Don't wait, play today. Play Pick 3 and Pick 4 with the Mega Ball at Caribbean Lottery agents island-wide.
You ready to win a little extra? Then get on the ball.
Must be 21 and over to play.
We are back on Island T, just about 43 minutes after the hour of 8. A little tardy to the party, but we're here. And I was briefing the officers on the earlier call, both locals and tourists being subjected to paying fines because they don't know that cameras are there to observe and do what it has to do. I tried my best to defend. Quint was not going in that hot water with me this morning, but I said, you're on the radio. I know we have the absence of signs. I hope that the signage will come pretty soon, so at least everyone will know that speed cameras are in operation. We don't have to put it by the speed cameras because as a caller from the USA, you see it, but you don't know where the camera is. You just know it's time to slow down.
Mm-hmm.
So can we talk about that first? Good morning, Officer McGuire. Good morning, Officer Trimmingham. Welcome back to the studios.
Yes, morning, Hortensia. Morning to our radio listeners. I apologize for the tardy start today. That is because I inadvertently left my phone and I have to return to it because the information was on my phone. So that would have really displeased me a little bit. So I apologize for that. And so, Hortensia, you're saying that there are concerns that we are criminalizing visitors and locals, the fact that they might have violated the speed limit.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I disagree with that. I very much disagree. And as we said, the intention is never to raise revenue, as some people might have it. The intention is never to have what people coin as speed traps. The intention is neither to criminalize anyone. All the effort is and the focus of the traffic department is really to get drivers, motorists, to be in compliance with the speed limit. And so, yes, there may be a time as we progress when you will see signage in terms of alerting road users that speed camera ahead, or as the case may be. The thing, however, is that if persons are waiting for a sign to indicate to them that, hey, the likelihood of a violation, it says a lot to our civic responsibility, our own responsibility as a motorist, Hortensia, because the thing about it is that the life that you save might be your very own life. And so I totally disagree with the concern as we are criminalizing, because it's more or less, in my view, a decision whether to be a violator or whether to be someone who is law-abiding and is part of the strategy of road safety. And so if you make a decision one way or the other, and that decision has a negative impact in terms of you have to pay a fine, then I think that is as a result of your decision. So that is my answer to that. Yes. Today, Hortensia, the intention is to look at road safety in St. Kitts, and okay, we can have a call.
Caller, remember it's traffic talk.
Okay.
So okay, caller, go ahead. You're live for traffic talk.
I'm so sorry. I did not know there was someone in the studio, but albeit, good morning to the traffic officers.
Morning.
You're doing a tremendous job on the road.
Thank you.
Let's keep it safe.
Yes.
There are some controversies surrounding the newly installed speed cam.
Photo cameras,
but nonetheless,
yeah.
One can attest that the temperament of the traffic has been slowed down, and it's good. There are some hiccups as new projects unfold, like the one in Frigate Bay. What is your post-mortem analysis? Because when there's a new project or something newly open, there would be a rush. And then it is a calm down. So my observation is that, yes, the one-off was a challenge, but going forward, because it seems like we're cramming everything in one space. Private persons, they're going to want to invest, and they're going to want to be strategic in their investment in terms of positioning themselves in areas which, the turnover will be good, like Frigate Bay and other environments in the Bastille area. But there are other considerations has to be a part of the conversation.
Yes. And I take
the retardation of the traffic and other things, the overbuilding. We was warned about how St. Martin was built up, and now they are regretting it.
Right. So I take it that you're referring to the newly opened churches restaurant.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So
one also maybe so, yes, but yeah.
Okay. So yeah, we would have made an assessment. I unfortunately I was not in St. Kitts when they have the opening, but from feedback in relation to the traffic flow and the traffic management, we recognize immediately that some adjustment will have to be made. So there is consideration to engage some stakeholders as we continue to more or less re-engineer that area in terms of whether to widen the road so that it can have a center lane, so that that can happen. But we recognize the location itself would create a traffic congestion nonetheless. And this means that what has to be done is maybe from a planning standpoint, that when developers are implementing projects, that part of that consideration has to be the traffic management, parking, traffic flow, and so there will be a requirement for the involvement of the traffic department or getting some kind of analysis in relation to that. So this has been a lesson for us in terms of the importance of involving that. So you're correct, caller, but it's something that
Yes,
we have
but
been.
so, with all due respect, though, we're not reinventing the wheel here. St. Kitts and Nevis, we are attempting to develop. And the planners from the planning division, they are planning on the books that in that case, might have been overlooked for whatever reasons. It might have been overlooked to say, well, a developer deserves this opportunity to get a piece of the pie, so to speak. And the planning division, it just went out the window. All the planning that were here, the template, it was just overlooked and override, and that aspect of it prevail where we see in a residential area, this has happened. So it's none of your fault, officer. You're trying to regulate the traffic, but there are some persons who can override your position as an ordinary traffic officer, and then that's where the problem lies. Now, a gentleman, an ardent caller to this radio program, made a suggestion about another road, like an exit part of it. And as I drive along the corridor there is like a water lane there, where he was saying that you can bridge that water lane there, allow for the water to flow, continue, but create an exit once you finish purchasing, like the drive-in. You can probably exit not by the entrance, but a different exit so that it can allow the traffic to flow smoother. I'm still studying that part of it. I'm trying to wrap my mind around what his thoughts are, but it's not far-fetched.
Yeah, I agree. We are saying the same thing in that we have to relook the area. A matter of fact, there is another construction ongoing right next to Cark and Screws, and so we have already been looking at the challenge that may pose in relation to parking and how it will affect the traffic. So definitely these projects will really have to now begin to include some aspect of traffic management based on the location of the area. So it's something that really a conversation need to continue. Okay? Yes, so anything you want to hear and then? Carlton, today we really want to look at road safety as the overall strategy of the traffic department in the context of public health, the economic aspect of it in relation in St. Kitts and Nevis. And I know that since the introduction of the photo radar, that persons have been speaking about the speed limit has become a point of focus, and most people are trying to make a case as to for the increase of the 20 miles per hour. And so I don't know what are your thoughts on it, what are the thoughts of the persons as to their case for increasing the speed limit. How that we have our own view based on our research, our data, and things like that, because just from the standpoint of what we have seen so far, we know that a significant number of the traffic accidents are due to the result of speeding. And so based on that indicator, we believe that the justification for increasing the speed limit, it may not be immediate. And the reason why I'm saying that is because if our strategy as to behavioral change in relation to our motorists, then perhaps that might be a direction in the future as to how one can begin to relook. Again, I recently returned from the Turks and Caicos Island, and I recognize throughout my travel that in the developing countries that the speed limit is 20 and 40 miles. That is what I've been seeing.
So where you just returned from, that's what you saw?
Yes, that's what I'm seeing. And yes, somebody might say that Turks and Caicos are much smaller than St. Kitts and things like that. And so that might even be more reasons for having the speed limit remaining.
Because persons were saying at least the speed limit in the built-up area should be 30, and then...
No, my input on that is that when we have built-up areas, residential areas, remember that children are residents as well. And for you to going at 30 or 40 miles per hour and a child suddenly run across your vehicle, it's very difficult to stop at 40 miles per hour. And even if you floor the brakes, your vehicle will still, there's a more likelihood that your vehicle would slide and still hit something or somebody because of the momentum, right? So we at traffic, we believe that 20 miles per hour is more than sufficient, because if you go into built-up areas, even school zones, because we have a number of schools that are really close to the main road, and children cross the road every day.
What about the road over there by Ross and the other medical university that people say people are creeping, like to get to town it takes forever? What considerations can be had there in terms of not speeding? Because I'm not for speeding. I don't want anybody speeding, but what considerations can be had in those areas? Because even sometimes I hear taxi drivers say, my tour takes longer, we're creeping, the tourists may not like this. How does one deal with that?
Well, I'm not sure that the tourists may not like it, because, I mean, you're sightseeing, and so you want to be able to get a good view.
But you're sightseeing, but sightseeing at snail space, the tourists might be like, I want to go back to the boat for something, or I want to go back to my hotel to do something else that I have planned.
I understand. But Chimina make a very, very good point in that what he was trying to say, that it relates to the braking distance. And those are some of the dynamics that come into play. That faster you travel, then you will need a longer distance for you to be able to stop and stop at a safe, in a safe manner. And so the thing about it is that if you're driving faster, and especially where there might be in situation that you might be distracted or something happen, and so on, you see the dynamics there that could create some complications in and that definitely would result in an accident. Depends on what the situation is. And so yes, in some areas, I will accept the point that in some areas where there the risk is less, or the conditions, the topography or the layout of the area in terms of the development, that consideration can be given, where there is 20 miles per hour, you can look at that consideration. But again, that has to be tempered with the consciousness of driving on the road and road safety being at the forefront in relation to that. Now, sometimes when we drive, we thinking about getting there to and from quickly, and not considering the different dynamics at play, that you might have someone, or you might have something. We have animals and those kind of things. So it's a lot of things that had to really be taken into consideration. That once we are satisfied that persons are being able to travel in a safe way, then we might be then achieving that indication in relation to road safety. Yeah.
What about the public consultation? Because this question is constantly asked. When are the officers going to have the town hall so that your organization and the public can have a conversation?
Yes. One of the aspects of the policing strategy as well is community engagement. And so we at Traffic, we recognize that as part of our public education, that we have to take the conversation beyond just the normal radio program. And so hopefully for the new year, we will intend to have some discussions, whether in the format of town halls or however, and so that we can always be engaged and interacting with the public as to how we can best think. The thing about it is that we have to see that policing, whether in the form of road safety, whether it is in the form of crime prevention, we have to see that policing is really a partnership. And then we have to come together and come to one common understanding how we are going to make it safe for everyone. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Officer Chairman, I have anything to add before we wrap up?
No, just to urge drivers to be safe on the road as usual. We to touch back on the point where you made with the situation at Ross University, that area there, and the congestion. I believe the congestion depends on the time of day, actually.
So early morning.
So early morning.
Afternoon time.
Afternoon time. The two rush hour periods during the day.
Okay. So the other times of the day.
The other time is usually flows freely.
Okay.
Right. And being able to reach a destination in a timely manner is plays a part in the congestion as well, you know. Meaning if you leave, if you leave Sunday Point 7:45 to reach Bar State to 8 o'clock, you never reach 8 o'clock.
It doesn't even work if they're speeding. So yeah.
So even if you're not speeding, and if you want to drive smooth with no congestion, I believe you should get up a little earlier than usual.
You see,
sometimes it helps.
Sometimes, Hortensia, I think that we have to balance, or we have to determine what our preference is, in the sense that the photo radar, it lessens the number of interruption or disruption in the traffic. If in the case that police you have to have a physical presence. And so with the photo radar, all it requires for you to really come in compliance, drive safely. Yeah. So which is better? To always, that when you're planning to get to work at a certain time, then you find yourself in a vehicle checkpoint with police officers on the road. And, it create some kind of disruption for you. And so we would have heard all of those concerns, and we are trying to really balance
it out.
Yes,
okay.
Yes.
Caller, go ahead. Excuse me, you're live in Traffic Talk.
Good morning, officers. Good morning, Fidency.
Good morning.
Good morning.
If I tell you that the speed limit that we have on the roads in St. Kitts is too little, are too small, are too big, whatever I tell you, it's just like beating a dead horse. It's done already. And those that have the power will not change it. But I know this same thing going to turn around and bite them and the family, because the same whip that big the goat, the wild goat, is the same whip that bang the tame. Now, having said that, I'm very disturbed in terms of how much small accident what we're having, bumper denting and all of that, people driving in people trunk and the back and so on. That, to me, should not happen. And I think that we should be more cautious when one is driving to the back of a vehicle. As long as you can see the back wheels, the back tires of the vehicle that you're driving behind, you know that you have enough space so that if the person stops suddenly, you will not run in the back of the vehicle. So we should be more cautious not to drive in people's trunk. Stay away from so close people's vehicles and avoid these accidents. People always get in trouble. Poor people always end up in a way they have to spend money where they don't have. All we have to do is concentrate on what we're doing. If a driver is in front of us, stay where you can see the back wheels, and if they stop suddenly, you would not find yourself in the trunk.
Right.
Officer, I think I've said enough. Have a good day.
That's a very great point that you have made, Carla, in relation to that. What we recognize that there is a fall off with the serious accident, but the minor accident, predominantly non-injury, but they have increased. So we're still having the accidents, and it's if you ask me, it's too many accidents because we get in on average 8 accidents a day. You know, and so it means therefore that persons need to pay more attention while driving because they're very fender bender, very minor.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, on that note, gentlemen, we have to close it off today as we have a program coming up. We have the launch of the website Alamono. So thank you so much for coming in and educating us. I will keep the concerns and questions coming and see you gentlemen next Monday.
We'll
all the
try and
best for
answer
this
them
week.
as best we can.
Thanks a lot.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM.
It's the Hoswitz Building and Nevis Centers and Builders Paradise Black Friday Build Bonanza, the biggest builders event of the year. Get 25% off store-wide across every department, tools, tiles, paint, and more. 3 days of unbeatable deals, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday only. The biggest build event of the year. Build with us at Hoswitz Building and Nevis Centers and get everyday low prices at Builders Paradise. Terms and conditions apply.
Campari, Red Passion, embrace the mix.
Campari, Red Passion, full action, this is Red Passion. Embrace the mix, add Campari, make it turn and twist. Add your chaser in your drink. Campari, Red Passion, make the nicest mix. Campari.
Campari Red Passion. Embrace the mix. Must be 18 years or older to drink. Drink responsibly.
This Christmas, add postpaid for a festive win-win. We're gifting you a 50-inch smart TV or a $400 Amazon gift card. When you add a Flow postpaid mobile plan to your home internet, you can celebrate the most wonderful time of the year with a big screen or big shopping. Let us upsize your TV or clear your Amazon cart. Either way, you come out on top. Add postpaid to internet today for your festive win-win. Visit discoverflow.co for more info. Terms and conditions apply.
and we are back on Island T. It's just about 12 minutes after the hour of 9. As I mentioned before, at 9:15 a.m., we will have the launch of a new website, alamulu.com. I will leave the information for then, but just to let you know, that's what we have upcoming at 15 minutes past the hour of 9 this morning. So, Quint, as we continue along, as I was telling you about the kidnapping of the students in Nigeria, so we had 12 staff that were kidnapped along with 291 students. 3 of those students are not from that school, but they were there with their parents. And then there was a next kidnapping, and that was in a church that they attacked. And then they kidnapped the ministers, a few of his members, and I think a couple of them were assaulted, and maybe 1 or 2 lost their lives. So empathy over there. Once again, empathy to the family of the late Jimmy Clift. We heard that he passed away at the age of 81. So we pray comfort and blessings to those family members for that late reggae artist.
Yeah, in terms of the kidnapping, like I said, unfortunately, that seems to be a reoccurring thing with our African brothers and sisters. But I'm going to have to run to the door because I hear it chiming. One of the guests has reached. So
All right, no problem. Alrighty, so as we were saying, we were speaking about the kidnappings. I wanted to engage Quint on what he thinks the U.S. president was saying, because I know there was talk about going into Nigeria and dealing with the situation, because as it was said that Donald Trump is touting they're persecuting the Christians, but we see the Christians are included because it's a Catholic school, and then it's a church. So is what the American president saying true, and is there a need for intervention?
Well, I don't give any credence to the American president, with all due respect, So, but to Jimmy Cliff, I'm going to make this brief statement before we take a break, because the other 2 guests are already here. Tell Mr. Harmony to put on his headphones so at least he can hear. Tell him to put on a headphone so at least he can hear what's happening. Right? Yeah.
I know one is usually left and one is right.
Oh?
Okay.
Yeah, I wanted you to put on your headphones so that you can know your 2 guests have arrived. And so shortly we'll be taking a break. But in terms of Jimmy Cliff, that is a big loss because he's an icon. I remember growing up hearing The Harder They Come, The Harder They Falls, the song, the movie. You can get it if you really want. You can't be wrong. And so many great songs. At one point, I used to argue with my friends as to who was the better between him and Bob Marley, right?
But they say Bob Marley was a bit ahead of him.
No. Don't even go there, right?
But it's what the article said.
They're going to say that. But I eventually, this is the conclusion I came to. They were both great in their own ways, and I don't put one ahead the other, right? Okay, so we're going to take, and I'm glad Mr. Harmony said exactly too.
But listen, I said the article. I never said I said.
Okay, so we're going to take a bit of a commercial break, and we'll be right back.
All right.
We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Mention, you'll go back here. Okay.
Harry, I'm on the radio, I can't talk now.
Miss Harmony come across a bit.
Let me apologize because the reason you were hearing silence is because Simeon just freezed up and decided not to play anything. So my apologies for the silence there, but we now take you to Cortencia. Cortencia, go ahead.
All right, so we're back on Island Tea, and it is with great pleasure that we welcome historian, poet, and cultural activist and calypsonian Larry Amini to our WinFM studio and on our Island Tea program this morning to discuss the launch of his new website, alamulu.com. With him is two guests that I will let him introduce. So a pleasant good morning, Mr. Amini, and welcome to the studios.
My name is Alamulu.
Okay. Alamulu.
I'm here in that context, yes. And just to clarify, I am a student of history, not a historian.
Okay.
And my guest, Rodney Brown, who is the webmaster, he's the one who put together, directed and managed the production of alamulu.com. And I also am pleased to have with us Grace Richardson, who has been associated with me as a musician for many years, as a backup singer, and she indeed is a musician in her own right. And so it's good that she agreed to come and be part of this conversation.
Okay, so welcome to all of you. Firstly, tell me a little about yourself and a little about the meaning of Alamulu.
Well, I'll start off with Alamulu. Alamulu is a Kalinago word. The Kalinago are the people who the Europeans called Caribs, which means rainbow. And I adopted that name when I became a Calypsonian. Why? Because I felt that I wanted to make an identity, forge an identity with the native people of these islands who are not here now, and therefore who cannot speak for themselves. And also I like the symbolism of the rainbow, which in a sense is composed of droplets of water and light, which brings life and hope and all that. And so I like the idea, and I like how it sounds as well. So here I am, Alamulu, rainbow.
Okay. So that's nice to know where it came from in terms of it being the rainbow. You mentioned in conversation that we had last about a song that you launched, Calypso is Bigger Than Carnival, right?
It's larger than Carnival.
Larger than Carnival,
yes.
Okay. Is this why you're launching the website at this time? Because we know we have a Calypso 10 that's ongoing. We know it's Carnival season. Any correlation?
Well, the only correlation is that it is one of my songs, one of my many songs.
Okay.
And for some years now, I have thought of putting my songs on a dedicated website.
Okay.
And this song, I actually had begun that venture some years ago by launching a lot of my works on YouTube. And since YouTube, I have written other songs, including that very one, Calypso is Larger Than Carnival. But since you mention it, I would just like to say that there is a kind of notion, among us, not only in St. Kitts Nevis, in the Caribbean generally, that Calypso is a carnival thing. And I'm trying to project that Calypso is bigger than that. It's larger than that. Calypso is about the human condition. It's about everything, and everything. It has no specific place when it should be focused upon. And indeed, to point, this year I have actually produced 2 new songs and released them, and I don't think they're being played. One of them was released in May, and one was released in August. But it's not carnival time. And so therefore, why play them? You understand? And this is something that bothers me. It's something that I'm trying to, as it were, comment upon.
Okay.
And Calypso, the song Calypso is Larger Than Carnival speaks to the origins of Calypso, the roots of Calypso, where it's come from, where it's at, and to show that Calypso, I mean, is part of the diaspora, for example. Calypso is larger than Carnival, but we won't speak altogether on that because we would run out of time.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Understood, definitely.
Yeah.
So who is your target audience?
The people.
Okay.
The people specifically, or particularly the people of my country, St. Kitts and Nevis, but also the people of the Caribbean. I'm a Caribbeanist, and that will come out in the website, but also the people of the world, because art is a universal thing. All of us can be an artist, but everybody does not recognize that. And so my art really is targeted, if you want to use the word target, at the people around me, my people, our people, but more generally at the world, because I speak to what's going on in the world. As a matter of fact, one of the songs that I released really and truly was inspired by what's going on in the world today, the genocides and the invasions and that kind of stuff, and the regression to a situation where you discriminate against people who are different. That song, DEI, is a song that I released in May of this year. So my audience really is universal.
Okay. Is there anything you think you could have done to get them to play your songs more? The fact that it was released in May, before we continue on?
I launched a website. So it really, to me, what matters is that my music is now in one space on a dedicated website, and the public, have the choice of going on that website or not going on the website. It's up to you. But the music is there. So therefore, what is incumbent upon me now is to let people know, hey, there's a website, alamolo.com. You want to hear my music? Go on that site. You understand? Whether it's Carnival, Emancipation, whether it's what is it, a thing in February?
Black History.
Black History Month.
Well, Black History Month, you also have something called Valentine and all.
I wasn't even thinking of plan. I was just thinking about the culture.
Whether it's a birthday, whether it's a birthday, whatever. You know, Calypso, in my view, is a music that should be accessible at all times. Just like we accept rhythm and blues, and we accept even reggae, you know, which has become more very, you know, Calypso is something that is there, and I am doing what I can to make that happen in my way.
All right. So I'm going to go to the developer. Good morning, Mr. Brown. Welcome to our studios again. I know you and the gentleman, you're close relatives. How easy or how hard was that collaboration before I go into the development of the website?
Oh, hot seat right away. Well, the good news is that I've worked with numerous creatives before, and I myself consider myself to be a creative. So I understand the nuances in terms of dealing with persons who have, in my view, in terms of a creative, you have a specific vision. And sometimes the challenge is just a matter of communicating that vision to another producer. Because in your mind, you could see how you want it to play out. And the frustration arises when, you know, there's some disconnect with the communication. So having said all that, it wasn't difficult for me at all. Maybe 10 years ago, it might have been difficult. But again, having the experience, I've been doing this for now 2 decades. So I have a varied experience with dealing with different clients in terms of what they need, what they, you know. So the experience, Larry is Alamulu is he's very particular, as again most artists would be. So there is some level of patience that you have to provide as a part of the relationship in developing the website.
All right. So now that we know that part, what is the process that goes into building such a website? So
one of the main things, the client would engage myself, ask me, well, you know, well, I would ask them, the presenters to the one on the website, ask them what it is, what industry, what is the framework, what is the objective, the primary objective, because the objective, the two primary things, the target market, who it is for,
because sometimes people think that it can be that the website is for you, but really and truly it's not really for you. It's of you, but you're producing it with the objective of other persons accessing and consuming what you're presenting.
Absolutely.
So you have to think along the lines of who is the target market and how best can I present what it is to them. So you get into that mindset, who's the target market, what is the objective? Once those two things are determined, then you start talking about structure and then the process of the user experience, the user, quote unquote, the person who is visiting the website. So from the very start to, there isn't any real end. I don't know, Larry, I say Larry. Alamulu. Alamolo may hint
I don't mind the first.
Okay.
Name. Right.
Alamolo may hint to different aspects of this in terms of, and he mentioned it, that it is your choice how you want to navigate the website. So there isn't any real, there's a start, most likely the home page, but there isn't really an end. So the process is that I asked, well, what is the structure? And then based on the structure, the key element besides the design is content. Content 99% of the time is the delay factor in website production. Sometimes you have to wait a bit longer than anticipated. But the good news is that the vast majority of the content was already available on YouTube.
Yes.
And the other good news was that, again, Alamula had a clear idea of what he wanted. So he already had a structure. This is the chapter, so to speak, and these are the pages within the chapter. So it made my job easier in terms of having the guideline, and then it was just a matter of ensuring that we had whatever content was missing, that we had that in a timely manner.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it all worked out.
Definitely.
So was there a deadline for this project, and did you meet that deadline?
Actually, I do believe so. I think the relationship, we had a determination of a broad deadline. And then as we got closer, he would check in, as you would expect. Are we on schedule? What is the outer end and what is the inner end? Because I'm relatively flexible within this boundary.
Okay.
But I need you to give me a definitive, an affirmative in terms of saying, well, yes, this is doable within this range. So I think within the range component, we definitely hit that. So he would have checked in with me and said, well, I would like to launch officially the website on this date. Is this still within? And so I didn't, there was no pushback essentially.
Okay. All
yeah.
right. So it's up and running and ready to go
for
definitely. Folks that may need to peruse today.
Yes, absolutely.
And I think it should say that there must be some fluency, in the sense that, there might be little tweakings that would be done from time to time. And also, I'm still writing, and I'm going to be recording again.
Yes.
And therefore, there will be additions to the site as time goes on. And so it's not a completed project.
Okay.
It's an ongoing.
And to that point, what I tell clients all the time is that, so the program is primarily about the launch of the website. And a lot of times clients think that is the end. That is it's actually the end of one process, but it's the beginning of a totally, because it signals the end of the process of the introducing what you have, but then there's still the ongoing process of producing.
Yes.
So once you're producing, the site is a living entity essentially. Anytime you have something new to share, you could potentially have a future launch or announcement that more work has been provided on the website essentially. But it's ongoing. As long as the artist is prepared to produce, then yeah.
It's ongoing. I know lady should be first, but we have to bring lady in last today. So good morning, Miss Richardson, and welcome to the program as well. So you are from ECHO. Let us...
Well, is that where you want to start?
Okay.
So we want to start with me in the hot seat first? Yes, I am.
All right. I'm going to go easy on you. I'm not going to start as hard as I did with Mr. Brown. So how does ECHO support Alamolu's brand? Ooh. And how important is copywriting against unauthorized use?
Mr. Alamolo is a very, very prepared person. I've been dealing with Mr. Alamolo for, I think, the late 1990s. I can't even remember when. Whenever A.U. Brown had first established his studio in Sandy Point.
Okay.
Right.
I started singing calypso in 1987.
Right.
And 1990s is a good. I think it's a good year.
Yeah. And I've been dealing with him from since then, and I know that he knows what he wants. He's very particular, and he has a good business head when it comes to music. He has that vision, and so he actually became an ECHO member in 2017, and he came with all of his works. So what I had to do was to make sure that all of his works were registered. So he was on track with that. And I know that he keeps up to date with the correspondence from ECHO that is sent out. He's one of the members that does that, right? And he asks questions whenever necessary to get clarification. So I would deem him a very good ECHO member. I didn't have to push him, right? He is focused on that. And so therefore, he was very interested. As, we assisted with his, not ECHO, but another company that I am a part of, with the development of the YouTube material, right? And one thing he didn't mention in terms of why he's doing this, and what he mentioned to us when we were doing the YouTube, is that he wanted to leave a legacy for his grandchildren. He didn't mention that.
Well, I think that is understood. I don't have to mention that. You know what I'm saying? It's really, as I said, ultimately the artist produces for the world. For the world, yes, indeed. My children and grandchildren may not be interested. So what?
You never know.
Other people. You understand? And as indeed I know, there are many other people who unsolicitedly approach me all the time and say, hey, I like your work, I listen to it all the time, blah, blah. So it's really for the world.
So in terms of the copyright part of it, he's well abreast of that information. So the only thing that we have to ensure that, because we can't monetize on YouTube yet, he can't make any money that way. But when we are in that position, he stands to benefit a lot, because a lot of his work is on YouTube. And in terms of locally and regionally, but we know the problem where there's a low level of licensing. But once we get over that, he stands to benefit hugely.
Caller, remember we are speaking to Mr. Larry Harmony, Alamulu. Go ahead with your question or your comment.
Yes, greetings once more in Jesus' name to everybody. Now, my question to Alamulu. Sorry if I'm butchering the name.
You got it right. Alamulu, that's right.
Yes. My question to you is how to spell your name. Because, for example, I've tried to spell it to see if I could get on the website.
Okay, let me spell it one time for you. You have a pen at hand? Or pencil? Paper?
Wait, hold on, sir. Well, I will listen to this program again on YouTube. So
okay. It's ALA, that's Allah. ALA MOU LOU. ALA
yes.
MOU
yes.
LOU.
Yeah. Okay, yes. Good, very good.
And if you put that name, if you Google that word, you may find that the Garifuna people of Belize, who are descended from the so-called Black Caribs who were exiled by the British colonials to Belize and Honduras in the 18th century, that the Garifuna, they have retained the language, the native language, and they use that word as well, right? Yeah. So if you go on to Google Alamulu, you might come up on the Garifuna page. I just say that as a matter of interest.
Very good history. Yes.
And it means
so it's alamulu.com.
Alamulu.com.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your question.
Thank you, caller. All right. So we mentioned ECHO earlier. You didn't want me to start with the hard one, so here we go. So how important was it for Alamulu to register his website with ECHO?
Not his website, his material, his music.
Okay.
So he's registered with ECHO as a songwriter.
So each song is,
Right.
is registered.
Right. So it's like,
Okay.
yeah, each song is a baby, and you have to
Okay.
register it.
And I would say even songs that are not out there, not because as Echo pointed out to me, this is your creative work, right? And even though it's not on YouTube or it's not on the website or it's not on the not in the public domain, it is still there. And if somebody comes along and finds that piece of work that you're doing as part of your creative thing and so on, they can claim it. So in order to avoid that, you register that as well. So all of these things are registered. I think it's important that
It's very important.
People know that.
Yes.
So once you have material, it's important to register.
Once you have material, I know some people are unsigned. They're not a part of ECHO or any similar organization. So there are ways in which they could file that information with maybe their lawyer. I know that with the recent update to the Copyright Act of St. Christopher and Nevis 2024, the IP office is supposed to be accepting registrations as well, digitally. So there are ways in which you can claim that the work is yours at a particular point in time. So it's very important to register because we all know what's happening in the world today, especially with AI. You know?
It's true.
So registration is very, very important.
Okay. One more question before we go back to Alamulo. How does ECHO promote access to information?
So we have a website. It's echorights.com. And in the different territories, we are on the radio, we're on social media. We even have a WhatsApp group that we share information on. Anybody can join the WhatsApp group. So it's an ongoing process. I think the only limitation, well, I can't say only, it's a major limitation, is that we have, and this is documented not only by me but other persons in the Caribbean, that we have, let me get technical right now and not point any fingers. We have authorities that are not convinced of the importance of IP protection and digital rights and fostering the growth of the digital industries as far as creatives are concerned. It's more a focus on the actual persons who are into production of artifacts, right? Instead of looking at the potential of pushing people who are making a living from IP assets, right, digitally. And so we have to have a shift in focus for more people like Alamulo and myself to benefit from what we are doing. Because if licensing is the key to all of this, and if there's no licensing, we don't make anything.
Yeah, I see that because I actually was surprised to know that copyright drives economic activity. I didn't know.
It does, especially in the 21st century, because you're talking about nearly everything online. Yeah. And when you're putting content online, as you put that content online, it's protected by IP. It's an IP asset. Even if you have your phone and you take your phone and you do a little video of outside, that you own that. You have the copyright for that, right? So people need to look at it not only from us who are creators, but in everyday life, how important protection of IP is.
Okay, caller, go ahead. You're live for Alamulo.
Good morning, Mr. Alamulo. Hello?
Good morning.
Good morning, and to the guest. This is very timely. Just last week I was listening to Freedom, and Juni played that song. What you call it? Where you from? See me here? What's the name of that song?
Yeah, together, yeah. Yes.
And it's very patriotic, but I see I like the line particularly where you mentioned something about telling the politicians when they're right and when they're wrong.
Seen.
I don't really think too well with them these days, but I promise I'll be looking at the site, and I must say you're looking very good. I see you're going to the Platts.
But nothing
You,
out
you,
for
be,
this year?
you're behind the times, man. I mean, that's been there for quite a long time.
Nothing out for this year?
I mentioned earlier that
Yeah.
I've actually released 2 songs
Oh, I tune in. I was
this year, but I don't believe because quite frankly, to be quite honest with you, I don't listen to the radio a great deal. But I have released 2 songs this year.
Okay.
Right. One of them is Inheritors of the Caribbean, and the other one is DEI. And interestingly enough, I released a song last year in September, right? And I released it because of Independence anniversary. The name of it is Celebrate, Celebrate. It was played on the radio during September, but it wasn't played after that at all during the carnival season. And if you're speaking about making comments on our social and political history and so on, I think you should check on Celebrate because it's a very recent song. It hasn't been played a lot. It hasn't got a lot of ear.
So
And
where
one,
would I find that?
it's going to be on my website. You go to the correct. It's under culture and heritage. I have
and
different.
with that song together, a lot of the kids love it.
Well.
Like dramatic.
Well, they're going to.
Where you belong over here?
I'll tell you why they're going to love Celebrate, Celebrate. Celebrate, Celebrate is based on string band music, and I have on that recording Pepper. He's passed away recently.
Oh yes, the
playing
man from
banjo.
your town, yeah. You know
It's string band. It's string band, and it's a celebratory song. But at the same time, it speaks to some of our colonial and post-colonial situation. In fact, the song begins, I take no joy to be part of a mother colony, but still I celebrate. Okay. So check that song. Celebrate, Celebrate.
I'll continue to listen.
And thanks to the call.
Good seeing you, Mr. Amani.
Alamulu. Irene.
All right. So we have a couple more minutes. Anything to add that we didn't touch on, Alamulu?
Well, there are many things that I could say, and sometimes when you put a microphone in front of me, I don't know where to stop. But I think I just want to make one point. Sometimes, and indeed you ask the question in a kind of a way, why establish a website? And I say that the artist, whether it's a plastic artist, the painter, the sculptor, the dancer, the dramatist, the novelist, the poet, Rodney's a poet, he or she wants his work to get out to the public. That is what drives it. You have something of value that you want other people to know and to see and to understand and so on, because we try to uplift, we try to celebrate, we try to empathize with your anguish and your pain, we try to to forge new thinking and of introspection and new paths towards greater social justice. That is what, and in order to do this, we have to reach the public. How do you do that? Well, where are our painters and our sculptors going to do that when we have no galleries in St. Kitts and Nevis? Where are our dancers and our dramatists going to do that when there's no stage for them to perform their arts and stage their plays? And so these are the kind of deficiencies under which we operate. The performing artists like myself, a Calypsonian, we have that recourse. We have the internet, right? And so in bringing everything together in that space and going on the internet, we basically are in a favored position. Of course, we still have to pass a threshold of cost. We have to go to a studio. It's a cost. But once we have passed a threshold and we have gathered the material and we have recorded it, we can now go to the world. So the question really may be asked, especially in terms of the performing arts, and specifically in terms of Calypso, why not? Not why, not why do you go on the internet, why not? That's what I would say.
Okay. Mr. Brown and excuse me, Ms. Richardson, any handles for persons who may want to get in contact with you, because we know how to get in contact with Alamulu.
Well, from my vantage point, my company is eCaribbean, so I can be reached at info@ecaribbeanltd.com. So ecaribbeanltd.com.
Okay, and Ms. Richards, how can
Well, it doesn't seem that people have a problem finding me. But anyhow, my information is on the ECHO website. You scroll to the bottom, you see the St. Kitts flag. You click on that, and all my information comes up. ECHO website is ECHORIGHTS, ECCORIGHTS.com. My information is there.
All right. So it was indeed a pleasure, Alamulu, having you and your guests in the studio. We look forward to many more conversations, and we look forward to the continued growth of your website. I will peruse and I will share information as I go along as well. So thank you so much for coming in today.
And I thank you very much as well at
You're
WinFM
welcome.
for allowing this to happen.
All
Thank
right.
you.
You're certainly welcome.
And Quint, even though you were behind the controls, you weren't part of the conversation. Thank you as well for playing the role that you have been playing.
Repeat what you just said, because I didn't have all my.
Thank you very much for the role that you have been playing.
Well, thank you.
You know, your multifaceted role in WinFM, because WinFM is a very important institution that needs to we need you.
I told Hortensia that you shaped my life, because I remember when you were the headmaster of Academy.
I played a part. I played a role.
He's spelling himself now. He's spelling himself out now, Quinn.
And I told her one of the amazing things about you, which baffled me, because I consider myself quite intelligent. But when you would come in front of the classroom and start to speak history,
Without
and
a
you
book.
didn't have a book in your hand, and then when I go to the book and I see that what you said was in the book, I said to myself, this man is brilliant.
Yeah.
You understand? Another thing I learned from you was that you said, try to read at least one book within a given period, and I took that up. So I am what I am because of influences like
Well,
you.
thank you. What I would say now, what I would add to that is now, try to listen to one of my songs.
Yeah.
That's definitely a good way to go.
I listen to all of your songs, right?
And play them.
Okay. In terms of playing them, I'm not the one who controls
All right.
what is
Let's
played
not go there.
Wait. Let me say this. We have someone who is a program director here, and he puts in. But when I'm doing my stint, yes, I do play your songs occasionally. And I have a CD with someone who did a lot of your songs in pan version. So yeah, I follow you. I follow your music. Okay. Yeah.
All right. So it was indeed a pleasure. Thank you. And see you when next you come back for us to continue the conversation.
Yeah.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
The right time, right ride, right now at Horsefoot's Automotive. Buy now or reserve for VAT discount days, Friday, December 12th and Saturday, December 20th, and get our lowest rates ever. Plus, enjoy up to $17,000 on select models. No VAT and no down payment. Drive away with finance with Horsefoots and get free bill of sale, free servicing for 12 months, free registration, free tinting, and even free groceries or gas for 3 months. Because the right time is here for the right vehicle with the right deal right now. Visit Horsefoots Automotive right now. Drive smart. Drive Horsefoots. Terms and conditions apply.
Rams the good food people, always there to serve you. Rams the good food people, locations right near you. Rams the good food people, in-store specials for you. Rams the good food people. Rams. When you need better service, Rams is always here.
'Tis the season for dreams to come true. There's Santa for the kids and CIBC Caribbean for you. Whether it's a house, land, vehicle, or upgrading your home, CIBC Caribbean can support your dreams with the financing you need. Enjoy incredible cashback deals with mortgages and land loans. Plus, your approved loan gives you a chance to win up to US $5,000. Apply now at www.cibccaribbean.com/sweeten the season. Terms and conditions apply.
And we're back on Island Tea just about 6 minutes before the hour of 10 as we continue along. Quint, you know the movie Black Panther, the most recent movie?
No, they have one that just came out recently.
No, but I mean the recent Black Panther, not the old time ones. The one, you know, the actor Chadwick Boseman? The actor that died, he died from cancer.
Yes, okay, I know.
Okay, yeah, he just got a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, so I just wanted to
Okay.
mention that. Yeah, I love...
Well, he deserved it.
Yeah. So he got his honor now. So his wife and his two co-stars, the young lady that stars as his sister, Letita Wright, and Michael B. Jordan were there alongside the wife to pay homage to the late Chadwick Boseman. It's... When I look back at it, because I was looking at the most recent one where his movie partner introduces his successor, his son, supposed son, to his aunt, and it was like it continues. So I can't wait to see what is going to happen.
Okay, yeah. I remember as a young chap growing up because I was really into comics a lot. And Black Panther and certain other things were really, they really were important to me because in those days you didn't see much black of anything, and that you had the Black Panther who was big in science and that kind of stuff, you know. And my mother usually didn't want me to read comics, but what she didn't understand was that I learned a lot about science and space and certain phrases that are not in everyday conversation, like warp speed and all that kind of stuff, and light years. We were bumping into those in comics. So comic was way ahead of its time. So it's good to hear that he got a star. He really deserved it. I think I'm going to have to go and answer the door there. So could you pick up the talk just for Sue? I know we're going to be finishing soon, but hey, this morning has been rather busy.
Quite busy, I must say. I know we just had Alamulo in the studio. I'm here looking for the website because I want to hear that song that that caller talked about. Morning, Gwinnett. Thank you for always listening in. We appreciate you and everyone else that call in. But I'm trying to go to the site here to see what I can find. Well, at this moment, I'm looking. Okay, this point, my phone does not want to take me there, so I'll look for that when I go home. But I would implore us all to support. And for those of us with material, such as songs, as Grace would have mentioned, Ms. Richardson, videos, etc., ensure that you copyright your items. So eventually, as she mentioned, it can be incentivized, and it prevents unauthorized use by other persons that does not have claim to your item. So I'm happy that Alamulu, Mr. Larry Harmony, came
we have a caller
and spoke to us about the website. Caller, good morning. You're live on Island T.
Again, it's not the norm for me to call twice.
Hey.
But Quinn, you know what? You had the AG online like a week ago, right? Talking about the law and everything, right?
Not
the AG,
not
the
the
DPP,
AG.
the DP.
Yes.
And do you know, well, everybody has a different side, but when y'all get a chance, maybe for tomorrow, he was at a church service, I think it was Antioch. I didn't know the AG could have sing. I guess this song that he sang, it was for International Men Day, Destiny, Buju Banton.
The AG or the DPP?
The DPP.
The DPP.
Okay.
Man, I was like, and he did it well. So maybe you should look at it and we could discuss it tomorrow. The AG not got talent outside the law. That's all I would say.
Okay, well that's good to hear. And
Yeah.
he's a big man, so I'm assuming he has a booming voice also.
Yeah, and the song was Destiny.
You said it was an Antioch Baptist church?
Yeah, but for International Women Day, the pastor asked somebody to get up, so he volunteered and he put it down.
Okay.
Yeah, so have a good day, guy.
Thank you.
Where do you say we might be able to find that? I'm gonna
well,
let
it's on social media. It was Antioch Baptist Church
Hortensia,
for
if you,
International Men's Day.
if you
I think.
find it, you can scrutinize it, and then I'm gonna leave it up to Hortensia. Are you coming in tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm here
And
tomorrow.
we'll take you from there. Any guy. Like they would say, guys, have a good day.
Thank you, Glenn. You have a good one, my dear.
Hortensia, that's a bit of homework for you.
Yeah, I'm already trying to find it here.
So tomorrow when we come in, I'm gonna if you
The
get
singing
it,
DPP?
we'll let
Don't
you
get me, sir. I'm too cute for over 1840.
Okay, so we're just about out of time, and unfortunately or fortunately, I'm going to have to be holding voices. Socrates is otherwise not able to come, but I do have someone who's going to be co-hosting. So we're gonna be fairly good. And from my understanding, he's going to be wanting to discuss this Venezuela issue and so forth. So we're going to finish Island Tea and get into the next program. Thank you, Hortensia, as usual, for gracing our studios with your lovely self. You understand? So, yeah.
All right, Quint. And to all, have a great Monday and a good week. See you tomorrow.